Throughout the decade of the 1990s, there was truly only one king of comedy in Bollywood. This actor called Govinda, and even today he is remembered fondly for his films like Aankhein, Shola Aur Shabnam, Raja Babu, Kuli No. 1, Hasina Maan Jayegi, just to name a few. And such was his control and love in the hearts of the audience and the people of India that in 1999 Govinda was voted as the world's 10th greatest star of stage or screen in a BBC News poll. Throughout the 1990s, Govinda had given immense hits. His movies were synonymous with quality of comedy and he was ruling the hearts of people with his movies. So what happened when in 2000s and in the 21st century, Govinda is nowhere in the Bollywood scene and a promise of immortality for a comedy star saw such a deep drop that today in the 21st century, nobody remembers Govinda for his movies. So welcome to a new episode of What the Fuck Went Wrong, and today we are going to analyze the rise and fall of India's comedy king Govinda. As always, if you like watching these videos, there is a link to the entire playlist in the description and in the cards. Make sure you subscribe so that you do not miss out on a new episode that comes out every Tuesday at 8 PM. And this is the new episode of What the Fuck Went Wrong. And now let's dig into the rise and fall of Govinda, India's comedy king. Let's begin. Govinda has often been remembered for his comedy movies like Aankhein, Hasina Maan Jayegi, Kuli No. 1, BV No. 1 and a lot of others. However, very few people know that he started his career in the industry as an action hero. Back in the 1980s, when every actor in the Bollywood industry kept himself busy by doing action films, Govinda also did some like the names of Mera Lahu, Marte Dum Tak, Khud Garz, Dadakiri and some other. While he did manage to give quite a few successful films in the action and drama genre, the real game changer for his career was Shola Aur Shabnam, which was his first successful comedy. It was also the first collaboration of David Dhawan and Govinda for a comedy film, and their legacy is historical in Bollywood. After Shola Aur Shabnam, Govinda shifted his base from action and drama to comedy and went on to deliver successful films like Raja Babu, Sajan Chale Sasural, Hero No. 1, Divana Mastana, Dulhe Raja, Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, Hasina Maan Jayegi, Jodi No. 1 and many more. Within a short span of time, Govinda was crowned as the king of comedies in Bollywood. In fact, it wouldn't be wrong to label him as one of the first actors to get comedy into the mainstream space in Bollywood. In 1980s, comedy was often considered a subplot of a commercial in the film, and not many superstars were keen to take up the comic characters in their films. However, Govinda broke this stereotype with collaborating with David Dhawan, and he made a comedy movie a serious business. He inspired a lot of mainstream Bollywood stars to take up on comedy films as well. And add to that his exceptional dancing skills, Govinda has the ability in the 90s to hold the attention of the viewers by just using his expressions. There is an entire generation of actors who have mastered the art of dancing and are self-confessed Govinda fans. Govinda had slowly become one of the top stars of the 90s alongside the like of Sunny Deol, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, who delivered a lot of films in this decade. It was in this decade of the 90s that the Bollywood industry saw the transformation of Govinda from an action star to a comedy star, and the same was noteworthy. In fact, entire trade of Bollywood, the trade experts were confident that Govinda would continue to deliver huge hits even in the 2000s. But that is where everything about Govinda's career went into a turmoil. While there are many reasons and many analysis of why Govinda's career went to a downhill, the main reason can be traced back to the fact when Govinda in the year 2000 shocked everyone with his decision to enter politics. Although Govinda was successful in the parliament by winning a seat from Mumbai North by defeating 5-time Member of Parliament Ram Naik by a margin of over 50,000 votes in the general elections, he wasn't quite necessarily successful as a politician. During his tenure as a member of the parliament, Govinda was usually absent from the Lok Sabha, for which he faced a lot of criticism. Govinda eventually had to resign from politics, but trying to foray into politics was one of the biggest mistakes of Govinda's Bollywood career, as this was primarily the reason which led him to eventually losing out on his stardom. Apart from politics, his immense indulgence in spirituality is also one of the reasons people consider as the downfall for his streak in his career. After quitting Bollywood, Govinda decided to start his second innings and was successful in bagging big films back then. He made a successful comeback with Bhagam Bhag in 2006, which co-starred Akshay Kumar, and the film was a successful venture at the box office. After Bhagam Bhag, he was seen in 2 films with Salman Khan, Salame-Ishq and Partner, out of which only Partner was a successful Bollywood box office venture, but Govinda won a lot of acclaim for his performance in all of these films. And everyone started believing that the comic star of the 90s was back in action. However, he could not carry forward the success as he signed several poor films like Money Hai To Honey Hai, Naughty at 40, Chal Chala Chal, Loot, just to name a few. Another reason why Govinda was failing such badly was that even at this stage of his career, Govinda was not too keen to take up second lead in his films, which costed him on losing out on a lot of major films. Govinda earlier was one of the finest talents of Bollywood, and now in the 2010, in the late 2000 decades, he failed to get a lot of work in the industry, majorly due to his stubborn attitude of mainly doing films that feature him as a larger-than-life star. In fact, Govinda also refused Salman Khan's offer to star in a film which was being produced by Salman, as he wasn't too comfortable in playing the role of a father. Ever since then, Govinda has not starred in a lot of films. He has starred in movies like Aa Gaya Hero, which was his production of his own production house, but his movies have not done wonders at the box office, and producers are not too keen to cast Govinda in a major lead role. Though he has seen some critical acclaim in brief roles in films like Holiday, Kill Dil and Happy Ending, but ultimately he hasn't been able to regain the stardom that he earlier had in the 90s. With the kind of talent that Govinda has, a lot of his fans can only wish that the actor had chosen a different path in the second innings of his career, which might have given him longevity and recognition at par from what he had in the 90s. Many people consider that Govinda is himself responsible for destroying his legacy that he created in the 90s, and that does pain a lot of his fans, but the truth remains that once the second decade of the 21st century is over, there's hardly any place for a veteran comedy actor like Govinda to star in movies that worked only in the 90s. The audience taste has changed, the audience's preferences, the new crop of actors, it's all a very different style of Bollywood than what it was in the 1990s. And sadly, that is the reason, and that is the story of Govinda's rise to success and a flaming fall from the top. And that is it for this episode of What the Fuck Went Wrong. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching it till the end. There are more episodes if you have not watched them already in the description and in the cards. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss out on any new episodes. There's an upload schedule in the description as well if you want to check that out. A lot of people have been subscribing to my channel in the recent weeks, so I really appreciate the love and support that has been pouring in. I only request you to just check out my other videos once if you have liked this one, and I can promise you that you will appreciate and love the content, and that will help me get more subscribers, and it will obviously motivate me to make more and more of these videos. So again, thank you so much for watching it till the end, and till the next one, goodbye.